So the Blue Jays are right at that point, where you know they're about to take off, but they're also like a guy or two away from kind of really being serious contenders. And even though they're a very strong and young up and coming team with a lot of young superstars, and they brought in some good veterans as well, and George Springer and Marcus Semien, and they brought in some pitchers. But I still think that they are a pitcher or two pitchers away from really, really being serious contenders in the American League. So here's my trade proposal for them. I think this trade will assure a playoff spot for them. Now, there's two different ways I'm thinking about this. Number one, okay, I'm going to give you two trade proposals. The first one, they send Austin Martin, who's their number 2 prospect, a shortstop outfielder, Simeon Woods Richardson, their number 4 prospect, a right-handed pitcher, and Gabriel Moreno, their number 8 prospect, the catcher, to the Washington Nationals. Now, two different scenarios, okay? 2 out of these 3 guys go to Washington for Max Scherzer, okay? Not all 3 of them. The other scenario is all 3 of them go to the Washington Nationals for Patrick Corbin. Okay, the reason why I have 2 options is, number one, I think the Toronto Blue Jays are at least a year or 2 away from really being serious contenders. Now, I could be wrong, and that's where the Max Scherzer trade comes in. If they really, really, really want to go for it, Max Scherzer is the guy to get. Okay, and he's going to compete for the Cy Young Award. He's at advanced age. But he's also in the last year of his contract with the Nationals. So he's a worthwhile gamble for a half a season, and they won't have to give up as much for him. Patrick Corbin's still under control for like another 5 years. He's still under contract, and if the Blue Jays realize that they're trying to set themselves up for next year and the year after, Corbin's the guy to go after, because they're going to have him locked up under contract for the next 5 years. So, with the understanding that they've got Ryu and some of these other guys, and they'll have more stability in the pitching rotation to go with these young superstars. So, as opposed to kind of having to reshuffle every year and try to bring in this guy and try to bring in that guy, they'll have Ryu locked up long term. They'll have Corbin locked up long term, and 2 stable guys right up front there, and then they can build around those 2. Okay, and they've got other guys, Chatwood and some other guys, and they did acquire Steven Matz from the Mets, but they still are a pitcher or 2 away. Now, Scherzer, I think, is going to be in high demand for a team that really wants to go for it this year, and they feel like they're 1 guy away. If the Nationals are out of contention, then I think this trade becomes more realistic. If they start taking off again, catching fire in the East, and they want to stay and go for it, then I can't see this trade happening. But I have a feeling that they're going to probably sell at the deadline if they're not in contention. Scherzer's the perfect piece to trade away to get some prospects back. Corbin's an even better piece to trade away to get a more hefty package in return. So, and I think these are 3 top 10 prospects. Corbin would probably fetch more if he wasn't on such an expensive contract, and he is on an expensive contract. So, if he was on a more affordable contract, then they would get more prospects in return. Unless Toronto's going to eat, unless Washington's going to eat some of the money, then Toronto might have to give a little bit more package in return. But if they don't, then I don't see them getting any more than this. But this is, I think it's a fair and realistic trade package. And again, it kind of starts Washington's reshuffling. They still have Steven Strasburg. Who knows what they're going to do with him? But he's on a gargantuan contract, so I can't see them moving him. And he's also hurt right now. So, Scherzer's durable. He's healthy. He's dominating again. And Corbin's another guy, stable guy in the rotation, consistent guy. And you saw how well he pitched in the postseason with them. So those are the 2 trade scenarios I see, both of which obviously are with the same team. But I see Toronto and Washington just matching up perfectly for a trade. They have a need for a frontline pitcher. Washington's got a bunch of them. If Washington's going to move a frontline pitcher, they want to get a bunch of young talent in return to pair up with Juan Soto and a bunch of their young Trey Turner and a bunch of their young people. So, and here, they get a pitching prospect, they get a catching prospect, and they get a multi-position player prospect. So, a good return, okay, and a good return. And keep in mind, again, they're on huge contracts, both of them, so the return I don't think will be any bigger than that, because of the fact that Toronto's going to have to eat so much money. So, let me know what you think of that trade proposal. My next one, I'm going to talk about the Phillies and what they need to do to solidify themselves in the National League East. So you're not going to want to miss that either. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification so you don't miss it, and that you know exactly when it comes out. And please hit that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And by hitting the sub button, if you haven't yet, it puts you in the running for my giveaway, 2,000 subscribers. So, and I appreciate all your support. Be on the lookout for the next one as well as the Yankee postgame recaps. And I'll talk to you next time.